39. The blind beggar who called to Jesus. We can find this in Mark 10 and Luke 18. Let's start. While Jesus was healing the sick and helping people with, that stuff. Kind things, yeah. And then he knew that his time in earth was almost finished. He was running to Jerusalem, and then he stopped. He told his disciples something that they couldn't understand, and something they didn't want to understand. That Jesus said the ones who wrote the scriptures, like the Bible, something like that, it always says there that the Savior will be mocked and dead. But in the third day, I will rise again. I will be turned to the Roman guards, something like that. I will be spitted, I will be hurted, and I will be mocked. And I don't know if mocked is the word.
Mocked.
Mocked. And the last thing, they will kill me and be put in the cross. But it just says here it's just the future. Maybe in the next stories, this will happen. Some of the people were following the disciples and Jesus, and they walked and walked to Jerusalem. And then they came to Jericho. In front of the gate, there was a blind man. He was blind in all his life, and he only had a cloak for the winter. Yeah, I don't think he has any food, and only leftovers. He saw that there were so many people that is coming to Jericho. And then he asked one of the people, "What's going on? Why is there so many people around here?" And then the people and one person said, "We're going back to Jerusalem, and Jesus of Nazareth is here." And the blind man said to himself, "If only I could reach the Jesus, and then my blindness will be gone and I can see." An idea struck to his mind. Just came to his mind as more like gentle. He had a loud call. "Ah! Jesus, son of David!" Yeah, but truly, this is not. They sometimes use that name in those times. They said it's son because Jesus is like the. David is the great grandfather of Jesus. But they use son in those times. But for now, something like great grandfather. For now, yeah. And then he called and called and called and called, and then some people told him to stop. But he just kept going louder and louder and louder and louder and louder and louder. Because how can he see Jesus if he is blind? So he just needs to do with his mouth. It's the device, his mouth. And then Jesus heard him. And one kind man, Jesus told the kind man to bring the blind beggar to Jesus. Okay, so the kind man got the blind beggar and then bring him to Jesus. And then Jesus said, "What help do you need?" Jesus asked. And then the blind beggar said, "I only like if I would see." Jesus said, "You are faithful, and then you will see." And then the blind beggar can see now. After being blind in all his life, he can see. And then he joined the rest of the crowd with Jesus. They walked happily to Jerusalem. The end. And also, my lesson here is, if you do believe in Jesus, that things will go the right ways you want it to be. Because the blind beggar was faithful faithful to Jesus. He believed in Jesus. And that's why he got his sight back. Bye. Thanks for listening.